The scene starts with Cole, a 12-year-old boy who's scared of his own shadow and refuses to get a simple flu shot in the school infirmary. The drama of a needle turns into an epic battle between him and the nurse, like a Star Wars duel, while the poor health worker just tries to do their job. On top of that, Cole has to deal with daily bullying for being weird, like a magnet for bullies. The only person who treats him kindly is Melanie, a classmate, but even her dad seems to want nothing to do with the boy, as shown in that classic scene where he burns rubber the second Melanie suggests giving Cole a ride. Nothing like a father who's sincerely uninterested in doing good for others. As if school weren't already a nightmare, on his way home, 3 bullies on bikes show up, led by Jeremy, ready to ruin Cole's day. After pushing him to the ground and calling him weird, the 3 laugh until B, Cole's babysitter, shows up like a modern-day hero, punctures Jeremy's bike tire, and makes the bullies run off as if they were fleeing from a horror movie. B is always saving the day in Cole's ego, who feels embarrassed, thinking she only cares about him because she's paid. But B, with an awkward smile, assures him that she enjoys his company anyway. This just makes Cole even more confused and shy. After such a full day, things heat up when B returns to watch Cole while his parents are away. They throw an impromptu party with disco lights, pool time, and movie marathons. So far, it seems like the typical fun babysitter cliché. But Cole, suspicious due to a theory from Melanie, decides to spy on B, convinced there's something odd about her. He even pretends to take a drink to fit in but secretly pours it into the plants. When B brings more friends for a round of truth or dare, things take a wild turn. From his vantage point on the stairs, Cole watches in horror as B stabs one of her friends, Samuel, collecting his blood for a ritual like they're at some kind of satanic wine party. B's talk of making deals with the devil leaves Cole in shock, unable to process what he's just seen. This is the point where I would definitely not pretend to be asleep like he did. I'd probably be halfway out the window by then, without looking back. But, of course, Cole decides to act like nothing happened and stays in his room, trying to come up with a desperate plan while still pretending to be asleep. When Cole finally tries to escape through the window using a makeshift rope of bed sheets, B catches him, realizing he saw everything. Before he can do anything, Cole faints, not because he's weak but because his blood sugar levels drop. Waking up tied up in the living room, with everyone around him, he's confronted with ridiculous questions about what he saw and why the window was open. In a desperate attempt to make up an excuse, he says he wanted to sneak out for a smoke. Because, of course, the answer to everything is to look like a juvenile delinquent. An interesting point here is how Cole, even in the middle of a horror show, tries to appear cool to his captors, coming up with a bizarre excuse instead of just asking for help. The social pressure is real, even when you're surrounded by a demonic cult. A fun fact is that Samara Weaving, who plays B, did most of her own stunts in the movie, a rare feat these days since most actors rely on stunt doubles for dangerous scenes. Anyway, as Cole tries to cut the rope with a pocket knife, thinking he's about to make his big escape, he forgets one crucial detail, the mirror behind him, showing his amateur escape artist skills. Obviously, B notices everything, and it's a classic I almost let you go, but not quite moment. Before things can get any worse, police cars arrive, throwing everyone into a panic. B, furious, asks Cole if he called the cops. With no other way out, Cole decides to scream for help but is promptly tackled to the ground by Max, with all the grace of a rhino. Soon after, 2 police officers enter the house and demand everyone raise their hands. So far, so normal. But Max, clearly not a fan of authority, throws a sharp object straight into one officer's eye, killing him instantly. As if that wasn't chaotic enough, the dying officer accidentally shoots Allison, sending her flying across the room like one of those gravity-defying action movie scenes. Meanwhile, John begs the other officer not to shoot, but B, in her usual gentle manner, slices his throat without hesitation. To make things worse, the police radio starts asking if everything's okay, and B, full of charisma, forces Cole to use his knowledge of police codes. Under pressure, he nervously blurts out a 10-4, signaling that everything's super fine. Things only get crazier, but Cole, showing a level of resilience worthy of the most unlucky protagonist, manages to escape. He runs up the stairs, with John right behind him. Just as John is about to catch him, Cole pushes him, and the poor guy trips over a toy and falls from the second floor, landing on a glass trophy below. A tragic end, but let's be honest, getting killed by a toy and a glass trophy is something even the worst movies wouldn't dream of. With the group now even more enraged, Max is sent after Cole, who, in a stroke of brilliance, decides to jump out the window using an improvised rope. Max tries to pull him back, but Cole, sharper than ever, lets go and lands in the yard. In his frantic escape, Cole hides in the garage, and like any good hero, he searches for anything he can use as a weapon. He finds insecticide, a lighter, and some fireworks, the basic survival kit in any movie. In the basement, Sonia finds him, but before she can do anything, Cole sets off the fireworks, causing a fiery explosion and trapping her in rat traps. Of course, things are far from under control, and Max quickly follows Cole into the yard. But in a hilarious and unexpected moment, Max pauses his murderous chase for a second to encourage Cole to punch Jeremy, the bully who was throwing eggs at the house. Max, who seems to have a weird empathy issue, helps Cole to his feet after Jeremy gives him a solid punch. Taking advantage of the surreal situation, Cole punches Jeremy back, and instead of running away, he continues his race for survival. Max chases him to the treehouse, but in a twist straight out of Scary Movie, the treehouse collapses, and in a stroke of irony, Max ends up being hanged by the same rope he used to climb up. Fun fact, the scene where B crushes a police officer with a car was done with practical effects, not CGI. This detail adds even more charm to the movie's over-the-top and brutal scenes. What I definitely wouldn't do is let B convince me to give police codes with a gun pointed at my head. Not a fan of that kind of pressure. I would have run out of there as fast as possible the second I saw even the slightest spark of insanity in B's group, which, let's be honest, didn't take long. The interesting point here is how the movie uses the friendship between Cole and B to create an emotional dilemma at the end. Even after everything that's happened, there's still a connection between them, making the finale more dramatic and touching, though with a macabre twist. Now, for those who've seen the movie, do you think B genuinely cared about Cole, or was she just manipulating him for her own gain the whole time? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to check out the other videos on the channel. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.
And I gotta tell you, it was perfect.